Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a really tragic story out of Kuwait. A massive fire, dozens of lives lost, and it's really pulled back the curtain on some critical global issues. We've looked at various news reports, some research to try and understand what happened. Not just the fire itself, but, the factors behind it. Why it's highlighting these much bigger problems. Okay, so let's unpack this. It happened early Wednesday morning, right?
Right.
In Mangaf, Kuwait. What kind of building are we talking about here, and who was living there?
Right. So this wasn't just like a standard apartment block. It was a 7-story building, and it was housing almost 200 migrant workers.
Packed in.
Yeah, nearly 200. The reports say over 175 were from places like India, the Philippines, Pakistan, Thailand, Egypt.
So people who'd come to Kuwait for work, presumably.
Exactly. Often in construction,
Right.
services, sending money back home. That's the typical story.
Right. And the fire itself, officials are saying an electrical short circuit on the ground floor.
That's the initial finding, yeah, an electrical fault. But the really horrifying part is how fast it spread.
Right. The reports mention gas cylinders, cardboard, and these makeshift partitions. What does that actually mean? How did that make it so deadly?
Well, that's absolutely critical. These partitions weren't proper walls. Think flimsy materials, plywood, maybe even fabric put up quickly, cheaply to cram more people into smaller spaces. Highly flammable.
Ah, okay. So they acted like fuel.
Precisely, like kindling.
Yeah.
They helped the fire just race through the building floor to floor and produce thick, toxic smoke. It basically turned the stairwells, the whole building, into a chimney.
Gosh. Just a death trap then.
Yeah.
And the death toll.
Yeah.
50 people. That's just staggering. Plus many injured. Why so high?
It's incredibly grim. 50 lives lost. Most of them, the reports say, died from smoke inhalation, not burns.
Meaning they were trapped.
Exactly. They couldn't breathe. Many were asleep. It was early morning. And crucially, escape routes were blocked. The rooftop door, often the last resort in these situations, was reportedly locked.
Locked. Wow. So no way out.
Effectively, yeah. Trapped inside a burning building filling with smoke.
This really shifts the focus, doesn't it? From just the fire to the conditions before the fire. Kuwaiti authorities reacted strongly, didn't they? Arresting the building owner, cracking down.
They did. A swift crackdown. Arrests were made the owner, others potentially involved in illegal setups, and what they found confirmed, well, what many suspected, hazardous living conditions, severe overcrowding, those flammable partitions everywhere, and blocked or inaccessible emergency exits. It just laid bare this long-standing issue of unsafe housing for migrant workers.
An issue not just in Kuwait, you mean?
No, it's a wider problem across the Gulf region, sadly.
But,
though perhaps not always this visibly tragic, this tragedy has really forced it into the spotlight.
And internationally, we saw India react quickly, with so many victims being Indian citizens.
Yes, a very strong response. The Indian embassy got involved immediately, helping with repatriation of remains. Prime Minister Modi announced financial aid for the families, too.
But beyond the immediate response, what's the bigger message here?
Well, it really underscores the human cost, doesn't it? The human cost of cutting corners on safety, on basic living standards. It's forcing this kind of reckoning about how migrant workers are housed and treated. Are basic regulations being enforced? Clearly not in this case. Kuwait's leadership is now talking tough, vowing strict enforcement. It's a warning shot, really.
So what happens now? Is this just talk, or are we likely to see real change?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? What comes next? We're told Kuwait is reviewing worker accommodations across the country now. Those arrested face negligence charges. And you might see more international pressure, from countries like India demanding better safety guarantees.
So potential for systemic change, maybe.
That's the hope, that this awful event becomes a catalyst for genuine, lasting reform, not just a temporary crackdown.
Yeah. This deep dive really shows a pretty stark reality for many vulnerable workers around the world. It's a powerful reminder, isn't it, how absolutely critical basic safety and humane conditions are.
Absolutely. And maybe this leaves you, the listener, with a question to ponder. Beyond the immediate aftermath, the arrests, the reviews, what fundamental changes do governments and maybe societies too need to make? How do we prevent these kinds of utterly preventable tragedies from happening again, ensuring everyone, regardless of where they're from, has somewhere safe to live?